I've seen that same painting on a box of frozen instant cereal. Elaine told me that's Lauder Neckbeard, second governor of Melee Island. His overly strict morals and overly lax regulatory policies helped make the island what it is today.
Stay out of my bedroom, Threepwood.
I've always thought this looked like my old ship, the Sea Monkey. Edgy. Looks like Carla wasn't too keen on getting her portrait done. Warning, the dark forest ahead is deadly and twisty. Maps are highly recommended. Oh, I used to love these when I was 6. Museum of Pirate Lore. I used to love these when I was 6. I used to love these when I was 6. I used to love these when I was 6. Until I got trapped in one for 2 days. I think they're illegal.
Hi there. Welcome to the Melee Island Museum of Pirate Lore. I'm Conrad, the curator and docent here. The museum showcases the largest collection of pirate memorabilia in the Caribbean. Or on Melee Island at the very least. The provenance of each item has been very carefully researched and fact-checked by myself and my team. Feel free to explore. And if you have any questions, just ask.
What's this melted lump of metal?
It used to be a mug. It was melted by some kind of acid. It was found in the Melee jail many years ago, after an incident where like 20 pirates escaped.
Hey, I did that. I had to keep pouring the grog from mug to mug because it was melting them. I had an armload of mugs and I juggled them all the way from the scum bar to the jail. Also, I could get Otis to join my crew. Not my greatest decision in retrospect.
That's a pretty wild story.
You don't believe me?
It's not a question of belief.
Never mind. It's not important. Tell me again about the mug.
It was found in the Melee jail many years ago.
It was just one.
No.
I'm just trying to help.
Thanks.
There's some very tiny writing on it. It's a working parrot. I shouldn't bother it. That is a really big parrot. Wonder how many hands it's eaten. What do you feed it?
Thieves, mostly.
Good to know. The display case is locked. Eye patch worn by Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. What can you tell me about this eye patch?
That's the pride of the collection. It belonged to Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. Supposedly, it had voodoo powers that would disguise him. I tried it on though, and nothing happened.
What's the story with the wanted poster?
That is the earliest known wanted poster for Captain Kate Capsize. You can tell how notorious she was by the huge number of crimes listed there. Very impressive. I got it from a collector on Fat Island.
Those are my own crimes, actually. I was pretty much public enemy number 1 on Fat Island at the time. I stuck Kate's picture on there so she'd get thrown in jail.
That would never work. Nobody's that clueless in real life.
I'm telling you the truth.
I'm sure you are, but it just doesn't quite square with the official record. So it's hard to substantiate.
Substantiate? You've got an eyewitness.
Eyewitnesses are notoriously inaccurate. Human memory is plastic and suggestible.
Not yours, apparently.
No, of course not. I deal in facts.
Why do you have this big gear?
It's from the Melee Clock Tower, stolen during a pirate raid nearly 75 years ago. It was recently found at an inn on St. Martin, where it was being used to mill corn. I traded some old furniture for it that we had in the back room.
Has anyone thought about putting it back in the clock?
Nah, if the clock started working, it would only confuse people.
Do you have maps of the forest here?
No, that's not really what we do. Try the map shop in town?
I'd see you wear a peg leg despite having both of your original legs.
Just part of the docent's outfit, for the tourists. Kids always want to try it on.
That's charming and creepy at the same time.
This is a museum for people who think attacking ships and murdering the crew for profit sounds fun.
Touché. Your museum is quaint.
Thanks. It's been a personal passion of mine. I'm nuts about old-timey pirate stuff.
Old-timey?
Being around it really makes you feel like you're a part of something. Doesn't it?
I am part of something.
Exactly.
Are any of these things valuable?
The security parrot isn't just here to look piratey. John Laney's eye patch is irreplaceable. It's the highlight of the collection. Amazingly, I got it at a yard sale. They didn't know what they had.
I'm Guybrush Threepwood.
No kidding? Wow! Are you named after Guybrush Threepwood?
I guess you could say that.
Nice.
I'm going to find the legendary secret of Monkey Island.
Oh, that's excellent! Super retro. If you need a place to display it, I know a convenient museum.
I'll have a look around.
Please do.
It's locked. How on earth do you have that note?
Oh yeah, that's very interesting. That was found tucked inside of a book at the Fat Island Library. It's the actual note left by the ghost pirate LeChuck when he kidnapped Governor Marley.
I know what it is. The lookout handed it to me just before I finished my 3 trials. I was crushed, but undaunted. I gathered a crew and I sailed to Monkey Island to save her. Not that she needed it, as it turned out.
Wow, man, you're really into this. I've got a role-playing group on Thursday nights.
This is absurd. It's like this whole wall is stuff from my personal adventures, but somehow I'm not even mentioned in your stories.
That's what's so great about this museum. Everyone makes their own connections with the exhibits, and it's highly personal and different for everyone.
That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
That's okay. You don't need to say anything. Just listen to what the exhibits tell you.
Fine. Is this a left hook or a right hook?
That once belonged to the dread pirate Meat Hook. Supposedly he was ambidextrous. Also, he used to live right here on Melee.
Tell me about this hunk of wood.
That's an original plank from the Golden Hind, autographed by Francis Drake himself.
Meat Hook's museum is gone. So is the cable to his island. It's just as well, given the worldwide rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle shortage. Wow, it's worse than I imagined. The window's all boarded up, and it's very dark in there. Is that an old toothbrush? The window's all boarded up, and it's very dark in there. Is that an old toothbrush? The window's all boarded up. Is that an old... The assets of this establishment have been seized to settle a class action lawsuit. Have a nice day. I remember when these torches lit up Stan's previously owned vessels like a carnival. This used to be such a bright, cheery place. There was a time when every mooring would be filled with one of Stan's used ships. It always looks bigger on this side of the island. Stan used this to clean his ships. It's all rusted out now. It's a dried up old sea sponge. It's bone dry. I guess Stan hasn't washed a ship in a while. It's bone dry. I guess Stan hasn't washed a ship in a while. The window's all boarded up, and it's very dark in there. Is that an old toothbrush? The assets of this establishment have been seized to settle a class action lawsuit. Have a nice day. I remember when this place used to be wall to wall with sword training gyms. Now there's nothing but trees. Progress. How clever. Expedition to fabled Monkey Island. Crew positions available. Serve under LeChuck, the most fearsome pirate on the 8 seas. Equal opportunity employer. Inquire here. Hey,
Threepwood, I shouldn't even be talking to you.
can I be on your ship if I change my name?
Only if you also change your face. Sorry.
Hey,
What is it?
come on, let me have the swabby job.
If you were anybody else and you had a mop, I'd hire you. But you're you, so I'm sorry, I can't.
How clever. What's that you're drinking?
Large. Get lost.
What's that you're drinking?
Large. Get lost.
I'm gonna find the secret of Monkey Island.
Good for you.
Don't look now, but I think there's a leech on your chin.
Buzz off.
Hi.
Are you my waiter? I want the excellent dish I had at the governor's mansion last week.
I
don't know what it's called, but it was sort of, a hot food.
Yeah, but I'm not
It had ingredients in it or something.
your waiter.
I already told your incompetent cook this, but he still hasn't brought me my dinner.
I don't work here. I'm not a waiter.
Hop to it!
Right away, sir. Pleasantly scorching hot. Oh, you look like the health inspector tasted your stew. Or you did.
Worse, Marlin is here.
Who?
The customer I have nightmares about. He's the only importer of yak fat on the island, so I need to keep him happy, but he makes that impossible. Today he wants me to make him a dish that he ate last week at some kind of event at the governor's mansion. But of course he doesn't remember what it's called or know what's in it or even remember what color it was. He says he thinks it has ingredients in it. I don't have the slightest idea what to make.
Oh, where did he say he had the dish he wants you to make?
At the governor's mansion. It's probably some exotic, weird-tasting thing from a swanky cookbook.
If I brought you a recipe, could you make it?
Of course. I'm a cook. See the hat?
Oh, look behind you, a three-headed monkey.
I do know a great stew recipe for monkey heads, but I can't think about that right now.
I'll see what I can find out.
Thanks.
Well, it's definitely a mop. Can I borrow a book?
You never brought back the last book you borrowed. You never even apologized.
I'll pay for it.
I don't need your money.
I've come for a recipe. A dish you served at a recent function. It's been described as hot and having ingredients in it. Ring any bells?
Barbie LaFleur catered that event. I own her cookbook, but I don't know any of the recipes.
Do you know where I can find Barbie LaFleur?
Middle of the Atlantic Ocean? She's halfway back to France by now.
Remind me what you said about the recipe I asked for?
I said I didn't make the food, but I've got the cookbook.
I should let you get back to governing.
Yes, you should.
Note to the reader. No disguised secrets are revealed in this book. Does not include Secret of Monkey Island. Oh. I tried to read that once, but I couldn't finish it. Warning, do not try these tricks at home. It's thicker than I would have imagined. The blurb says it's a solid if somewhat predictable story about a roguish pirate and a doomed romance with a woman of station. It's a cookbook. It has 4 stars, but it looks like they're for difficulty. Note to the reader. No disguised secrets are revealed in this book.
Stay out of my bedroom, Threepwood.
Elaine told me that's Lauder Neckbeard, second governor of Melee Island. His overly strict morals and overly lax regulatory policies helped make the island what it is today. I've seen that same painting on a box of frozen instant cereal. It's a lot of work being governor. Edgy. I've always thought this looked like my old ship, the Sea Monkey. Ugh, looks like Carla wasn't too keen on getting her portrait done. This was where the fantastic Flying Fettuccine Brothers circus used to be. Nothing left but old tentpole holes. Wow, I could have had a totally different future if I'd stayed with them. I could stare at this forever, but that wouldn't be much fun for you. Hi again. Those new pirate leaders are real jerks. They laughed at me, and they won't fund my expedition. Why didn't you warn me?
Would you have listened?
Of course. Okay, no, probably not.